Hey guys, so this is a video I thought I would never have to make. So here's a little bit of a background. So on Friday, my wife was complaining that she felt sick. So I said, could you be hungry? Because she suffers with acid reflux. So I thought, maybe she's hungry. Maybe this is why she's feeling a bit bleh. So she had something to eat. Still felt the same. By the evening then, it got to the point where she was sick. She had sickness, she had diarrhea. It turns out she'd picked up this stomach bug that's been going around where we live. My 6-year-old had it as well, but he just had the diarrhea side of it. But his sort of cleared up and he's fine. But my wife, she was really sick Friday. She was in bed late evening Friday. And yeah, so she was she was in bed late evening Friday. By the Saturday, she was up and down the stairs, really struggling now to get up and down the stairs with really bad diarrhea. So in this time, she couldn't stomach eating food. She just felt really, really ill. But she was drinking plenty of fluids. So by the Monday now, she'd I think in that time she'd had like half a piece of toast. So Monday now, she's still in bed all day. Luckily she booked the day off work. Still felt the same. She'd come downstairs now and again to go to the toilet. She wasn't going very often, which I didn't realise till last night. She also mentioned it to me as well, that she didn't go to the toilet very often, but she didn't. So I said to her, look, I said, if you're still like this Tuesday, I think we need to ring the doctors. So rung the doctors, and I don't know what's going on with my doctor's surgery. They don't seem to want to see anybody. It's doctors. You can't ring to book an appointment. You have to ring on the day to get an appointment for that day. You can't just ring and say, oh yeah, can I book an appointment? And they say, oh yeah, what day do you want to book? Or the earliest appointment we've got is Tuesday at 3 o'clock. And you're like, yeah, that's perfect. Or can you make it such and such? You have to ring on the day for an appointment that day. It is pre-COVID. Our doctor's surgery was fantastic. I couldn't be more happy there. They were really, really good. Even during COVID, they were really good. They had the e-consult. You could always speak to a doctor. They would always get back to you pretty quick. But then lately, since they've merged with another surgery, it's just gone. It's gone to the dogs, so to speak. So anyway, she rang the doctor. She told him the situation. She'd been sick since Friday. You know. Then with that, then he was like, oh, have you done a COVID test? She was like, no. That was the first thing he was concerned about, COVID. It could be COVID. Even though none of the symptoms that she described, you know, being disorientated, being lethargic, aching all over, really bad back, they weren't really any signs of COVID. So she did a COVID test, negative. He wanted her to monitor her temperature and her blood pressure, and her sugar levels, because she is type 2 diabetic. Her sugar levels were perfect. They're probably the best they've been. Her levels are normally pretty good, but these ones were like spot on. And her blood pressure, it was brilliant as well. Like normally, if she goes down to the doctor, she has a blood test, blood pressure, it is pretty high sometimes, or it's good. It's in a good place, but these were really good. Like, so she's still in bed, and it got to the point then Tuesday evening where she couldn't get comfortable. She couldn't do anything with herself, and I felt so helpless. I was doing what I could for her. I was sponge bathing her. I was bathing her downstairs. I was washing her hair. I was doing everything, rubbing cream into her back, giving her tablets. Nothing was working. She kept constantly had a pounding headache. Kept saying that she could feel her blood pressure or a heart beating really, really hard. And so I phoned out of hours. I wasn't on the phone for very long. Fair play to them. Like, they were pretty quick at answering the phone. No, I mean, I've rung in the past and I've been on the phone half hour or so. This was literally minutes. I literally went through all the automated service and then straight on the phone. They were on the phone. I spoke to them. They spoke to my wife. They said, yeah, you need to bring her to A&E. So I took her down to A&E and they basically did the triage, looked at her, and they were like, yeah, we need to do an ECG. So I did an ECG, did blood tests, and then that's when they noticed her blood was quite acidic. So when I sat back down, before we knew it, we were in another room. She was hooked up to a drip. They were pumping bags and bags and bags of fluids, saline into her. This was all in a few hours, and it was so quick the way they just sort of, that's how serious it was. It turns out that she was going into ketoacidosis, which basically means because she wasn't eating, and the medication she was on for her type 2 diabetes, her body thought, oh, hang on, you're going into starvation mode here, we don't like it. So basically her body was eating itself, and these tablets that she was on shot her ketones up. I mean, it's supposed to be like 0.6, I think. Hers were like, I think the highest it was 5.2. So they did say to her that if I'd have left it any longer ringing out of hours, that she could have had organ failure. And obviously I don't want to lose my wife and my kids and my world, like, and I can feel myself getting a bit upset now just thinking about it, because I wouldn't want to be without her. Nobody would want to be without their wife. So it's just like, I'm on my way up there now. I just thought I'd do a video on the way up, because it is like a 20-minute drive, explaining the situation. I'm just so angry with the fact that the doctor didn't even want to see her, knowing what medication she's on, because he would have had it on the screen in front of him, knowing everything, all her medical history, and he just wanted us to monitor it and then ring back tomorrow if it got any worse. If we'd left it to tomorrow, she might not even be here, like. But I was up there last night till gone midnight. She practically told me I had to go home. I would have stayed if I could. So they've moved her to the diabetes ward, and they're planning on re-evaluating her meds, because they think the meds that she's on aren't the best ones for her, because obviously every diabetic is different. But they did say her case was a strange case, because her blood sugars have been perfect. There's been no problems with her blood sugars. Her blood pressure is perfect. It was just her ketones that shot up. She's still not in the right area yet. It's still like, what was it? 1.6, I think she said last time I spoke to her, which was about half hour ago. So it was 1.6. So it is coming down. They reckon she'll be out by tomorrow, but they've got a plan in place. It's just, this is my wife. The surgery we go to isn't the only surgery that is a problem. The surgery that my mother and father-in-law and the one my wife went to before we moved house, they're even worse than this one. And the amount of complaints that I know people had been making because of how terrible it was, it's ridiculous. And if the NHS, Prince Charles Hospital, if they didn't work and react as quick as they did, I dread to think what the outcome would have been. They have been absolutely fantastic, and they've been so welcoming, they've been so helpful, that I couldn't thank them enough for everything that they've done for my wife. It's been brilliant. So the only issue that there was a trainee doctor up there said that they'd get my wife's medication because she's on anxiety meds. If she doesn't take it, she goes into withdrawal and she becomes unwell again, which I don't want that. So she said she was going to sort all her medication out last night, but she never did. But hey, I'm on my way up now. It's taken me a while. I've had to obviously get myself ready because I literally got home last night, threw myself into bed in my clothes, got up this morning. My mother-in-law also, she was fantastic. She took the boys in last night, she fed them, she put them to bed. Elliot slept in the bed on his own for the first time since we were on holiday, and they've been fantastic. So I'd like to thank them as well, because I would have had to either not go or yeah, so I'd like to thank them because they have been fantastic as well. They are amazing parents-in-law because they'll help out whenever and wherever they can. Like if we need help, they'll try and do their best to help us out. That's the sort of, I'd even go as far to say, I wouldn't say they were parents-in-law, I would say they were like a mother and father to me, like, because my mother passed away years ago, like, but yeah, I mean, I get on great. That's what you want, innit? You want to get on with your in-laws. So yeah, they've got a plan in place now for my wife to make sure that everything is okay. Going to review her meds, so hopefully she'll be on better medication. Because yeah, my wife, she gets the odd cough and cold and the odd sniffle, and my mother-in-law's like an ongoing joke that she's got ill health. She hasn't. My wife's pretty healthy, but yeah, she's got ill health, and so, but yeah, I mean, it is frustrating that the surgery didn't do anything, and I'd be so tempted to ring the surgery and say, oh, I just want to let you know, you wouldn't see my wife yesterday, and turns out that she almost went into organ failure because you wouldn't see her. You just said to monitor it. I wanted to say that, but my wife is, yeah, just, I don't think she'd be happy if I did. But I am not happy with the surgery at all. I'm not going to name and shame them because what good would that do? I don't know where we stand legally, whether we can say, you know, the doctor said this. Because it probably wasn't written down anywhere, but the levels she was at, like I said, she could have gone into organ failure. And just thinking of that, the chances that I could have lost my wife last night, or even today, if I left it till today, she was at home. It just makes me so angry. It was heartbreaking not having it. I was in a quiet house last night. Nobody was in there but me. My boys were at my mother and father-in-law's house, and I was just there on my own. And I couldn't even face going up to bed, so I just slept on the sofa. Literally, as soon as my head hit that pillow, I was asleep. And when I saw the boys this morning, I was just so happy to see them. I really missed them. And Aiden was so chuffed, and Elliot was so chuffed. They were both clutching me, and it was just, even this morning, they were so well behaved. They were so understanding about my wife being ill the whole time that she's been ill. They were so understanding. And Aiden came up to me, he's like a little mother hen, and he came up to me, he said, Daddy, is Mammy okay? And I said, yeah. I said, she's in hospital. got needles, and I was telling them what they were doing. I didn't go into full detail, so they'll be happy. And I'm just gonna literally just drop this stuff off at my wife's now, see her for 5, see how she is, and then I'm just gonna well, I'm not allowed to stay. I can drop this stuff off because she needs the stuff straight away. She's got her medication and stuff in there, and then I can just have to go home. Maybe go up with the boys' dating. I think visiting hours are like 3 o'clock, so I'll pick them up from school and I'll probably just go straight up. So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. If you've got to this part of the video, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I would say I'd see you on the next one, but I hope that I don't have to do another video like this. But I shall see you on the next video.